And if you don't think the circulating supply makes a difference, check this out. That's approximately a 95% increase in circulating supply. For anybody new, market capitalization is BS. It's all fairy dust. It doesn't even exist. Just like most things in society, these are nothing but social constructs. So when you see that Bitcoin has almost a $600 billion market capitalization, I can assure you that there is not $600 billion liquid. If everybody sold their Bitcoin right now, they would only get a small percentage of that $600 billion. This video is an absolute must-see. Let's kick it off. What's up guys, Kevin Cage here with another cryptocurrency update. So in this video, we're going to dive into a variety of altcoins, XRP, Hedera, Algorand, you name it. And I want to show you how their circulating supply has increased since September. This is going to help explain a lot why some fundamentally strong assets continue to dump. One of my favorite long-term holds is Algorand. And from this high, wick to wick, this asset has crashed 86%. So the past few months have been worst for Algorand since even March 2020. As you can see, we dropped 80% during March 2020. We dropped 70% during November of 2020. And of course, I'm not using this wick all the way up here at $5.50 because that was a very quick spike, but if you considered it, that's a 93% drop. And historically, what happens after these low prices are hit? Well, in this case, since the all-time low price for Algorand in March 2020, it still did a 26x return after. So this 2,500% is the percent increase, plus the initial investment. And that's actually over a 26x return from the all-time low. And there's a lot of altcoins creating all-time low prices right now, and I would expect a similar bounce when all is said and done. And in the world of investing, specifically with fundamental analysis, there's a few approaches. So one would be value investing, and the other would be growth investing. And a common question is, do you choose value, do you choose growth, or do you use a little bit of both? And this is typically applied to in the stock market, in the world of mutual funds, things like that, really the securities market. And we can take that and apply this to the cryptocurrency market. So as the name suggests, growth investors are really seeking companies that offer strong earnings growth year over year. So of course we know Ripple the company is a powerful company, and we know that Ripple net growth and the ODL volume has increased 8x year over year. And according to James Wallace, who handles central bank engagements for the company Ripple, he said that financial institutions, even today during the Ripple vs. SEC case, are still sending over $1 billion worth of XRP every single month. Now with value investing, value investors are seeking stocks that appear to be undervalued relative to the entire marketplace. And of course, considering all the fundamentals that go with typical value investing and growth investing, but we have to apply this to the cryptocurrency market. So, first and foremost, is the project legit? Is it actively being built? Are there active code commits? Is there liquidity? How many exchange listings are available? What's the roadmap? Have they hit the roadmap? Are they consistent? Do they hit their deadlines? What's the throughput and the scalability of the network? What's the consensus mechanism? The total supply, the circulating supply. Is it inflationary? Is it deflationary? Does it have DeFi? Is it a layer 1? What is the solution? Is it solving a payments problem? Is it an Oracle solution? Who are their competitors? What's the market cap of it today? Does it have relative growth to others? So many things to consider. So that is really fundamental analysis instead of just looking at the price chart. So I think just like anything, you want to combine the fundamentals and the technicals. Now from a technical perspective, this is the crypto market, this is the Wild West, and yes, 70 to 90% plus crashes are nothing new. And historically, for legitimate alts that will survive, are regulatory compliant and working with regulators, after these 70 to 90% crashes, they usually go on a heck of a rally after. In this case, over a 26x bounce, forming multiple cups and higher highs. When we were back here, when the altcoin market was creating all-time high prices, a lot of people said, Kevin, we're never going to have a bear market like we did in 2020. That's impossible because there's more utility in this market. There's more eyes. There's more money in this market. And although I agree with that sentiment of growth and higher highs in the market going up, I'm also aware that we have a long way to go in terms of providing real utility at scale. So what does that mean? It means we're early and there's still plenty of upside in the crypto asset class. So a lot of people just doing typical TA might be scratching their head and going, man, why did Algo, why did HBAR, why did all of these assets dump harder than usual? I have an answer for you. We're going to go to coinmarketcap.com. Under cryptocurrencies, we're going to go down to historical snapshots. Now we're going to scroll down to 2021 and let's go to September 5th. We're going to take a look at the asset's market capitalization, but let's look at the circulating supply, the secret sauce to all of this. So now we have the historical snapshot on this date, and we can see the circulating supply for Bitcoin in the top 100, top 200 assets. And now going back to coinmarketcap.com, we can see the top 100 assets, we can see their current price, their market capitalization, and their circulating supply. For anybody new, market capitalization is BS. It's all fairy dust. It doesn't even exist. Just like most things in society, these are nothing but social constructs. So when you see that Bitcoin has almost a $600 billion market capitalization, I can assure you that there is not $600 billion liquid. If everybody sold their Bitcoin right now, they would only get a small percentage of that $600 billion. So all market capitalization is circulating supply, the circulating supply, not the total supply. All that matters is the supply that's actually moving in circulation. So we're going to take circulating supply times the current price of Bitcoin. So if we have 19 million Bitcoin times about 31,000 per BTC, you'd get a market capitalization around 598 billion. Same thing as if you take market cap divided by the circulating supply, you would actually arrive at the current price. Now check this out. I made a quick Excel sheet of present day on the left-hand side of all the assets in the top 100, and then on the right side, September 5th, 2021. So this is roughly 9 months ago when Bitcoin was trading over $51,000. Now, I don't really care about the current price. I don't really care about market cap. What we're going to be looking at today is circulating supply. And I want to show you how today the circulating supply for a variety of assets has increased exponentially. So the increase of circulating supply plus a market crash led to a very ugly May last month. And if you don't think the circulating supply makes a difference, check this out. Algorand circulating supply increased from 3.5 billion all the way up to 6.86 billion. So if we took this 6.86 and divided it by this 3.52, that's approximately a 95% increase in circulating supply. Meaning that if the circulating supply of Algo actually never changed, even today it would be roughly 80 cents, double in value. So you could argue that the increase of the circulating supply of Algorand has essentially doubled, leading to the current price being cut in half. Now for anybody worried, no, I'm a long-term believer in Algo, and I think it's in the best interest of all these platforms, Hedera included, to have a valuable network, to have a high-value token to ensure the security of the overall distributed network. It's a top-down approach, and every network has to actually bootstrap itself to the ecosystem. They have to make money. And I know the Algorand Foundation and Algorand are investing hundreds of millions of dollars, reinvesting that into their own ecosystem. So I know it's not any fun seeing the circulating supply of some alts increasing, but I'd rather have them rip the band-aid off, build the network correctly, and have the capital and the money to continuously expand, build new partnerships, build liquidity. And I think long-term that's what matters. So as an investor, I'm trying to align my incentives with the founders of these projects. I think it's safe to assume that the founders of Algo and Silvio Micali, one of the founders of zero-knowledge proofs, which will be used widely in blockchain technology, definitely wants the Algo token to be highly valuable in the future. For me as an investor, I'd rather have that than seeing the project years in the future run out of capital and fail and go to zero. So pick your poison. When bullish price action comes back, it's not going to matter. I still believe that Algo does create an all-time high price in the future, but I've definitely learned my lesson, and I'm going to do a better job when I'm looking at assets and their tokenomics and really checking out how inflationary they are each year and trying to really plan for worst case scenarios. So Algo circulating supply has increased by 95%. Let's check XRP. So we can see that we're at 46.5 billion and now we're up to 48.3, so nothing crazy. That's only a 3 to 4% increase compared to a 94-95% increase for Algo. So this didn't really affect price. And thanks to XRP's escrow function, guys, it's never going to double like Algorand. They cannot dump that much on the market because they're actually programmatically locked. For XRP's tokenomics, I think we're already just in worst case scenario and we're waiting for this lawsuit. And yes, I still believe that XRP inevitably explodes, not financial advice. Now this one's pretty crazy. Hedera hash graph HBAR. The circulating supply back in September was 9.6 billion. And this circulating supply has also increased all the way up to 20.7 billion. 9-cent HBAR that we're looking at today, if the circulating supply never changed, this price would be significantly higher. We're talking orders of magnitude higher. Now, after some of these big token releases, it typically will level off, and then finally we can see that good price appreciation. So make sure that when you're looking at every single asset, you're reading the white paper, which please don't buy anything unless you actually read the white paper. At least, speed through it, scan through it at the very least. Don't trust anybody. Don't take someone's word for it. Don't buy something because, I like it. Read through it. Really sit on it. I guess it's okay that we're ripping the band-aid off and getting it over with sooner than later, getting some of these token releases, the inflation rate, people staking, depending on how the actual network functions. Let's get it over with. Because once some of these big increases in circulating supply stop, the price can finally fly, especially when bullish momentum comes back. And if you haven't been paying attention to what's been happening in the cryptocurrency market, this market is going to explode in the future. So So the best thing you can do is look for some assets that you believe will be here long term, because if you hold any altcoins that remain in the top 50 even 3 years from now, oh baby. And the good news is for QNT or Quant, we can see still sitting at 12 million QNT right here back in September, along with today. So beautiful. I know the price action hasn't been fun, but when the bulls do return, such a tiny circulating supply, it doesn't take much to move this price. We can see Stellar increased from 23.6 billion up to 24.9. That's about a 5.5% growth, so that circulating supply increased even more than XRP. XRP was at like 3.8%, so nothing crazy. And we can see that ETH increased about 3.4%. And we're going to see how this merger goes this year of 2022 for Ethereum. I think it could result in some absolutely insane price action. Bitcoin supply has only increased by like 1%, so nothing crazy. Polkadot looks to be the same. Avalanche looks like it increased from 219 million up until 280 million, so that's about a 28% increase. Chainlink increased about 3 to 4% like XRP, nothing crazy. VeChain seems to be the exact same according to coinmarketcap.com, and keep in mind that sometimes CoinMarketCap's APIs are not the best. I know that their market cap is not accurate for some assets like DAG or Constellation. Now we're back on CoinMarketCap looking at the same historical snapshot in September, just about 9 months ago. The circulating supply for Casper when I started buying it was only 1.4 billion. And I understand that Casper and a lot of organizations have to disperse these tokens, incentivize other holders, and create more liquidity in this ecosystem. It's just a bummer when you see the circulating supply increases by so much. So from 1.4 billion, we can see we increased to 512. So let's do 5.12 divided by that 1.40, so 1.4. That means the circulating supply for Casper has increased by almost 3.7x, meaning that if the circulating supply never increased, the current Casper price would still be sitting about 3 to 4 times higher than it is today. Now the good thing is that a lot of these token releases are almost done for Casper, which means there's going to be less selling pressure, there's going to be less increase in circulating supply, and then this bad boy, like we've seen time and time again, can fly to a multiple billion-dollar market cap. Even a 5x gets it back up to $1 billion. I believe that Casper's blockchain is far superior to Solana in every single way. And if it just flips Solana, even at today's prices or during the all-time high prices for Solana, we're looking at a $2 or $5 Casper, maybe even double digits. Now, API 3 Casper, any project that has a huge percentage of their total supply staked is a serious contender for the future. Those are the alts I'm looking at where the investors are serious, the roadmap is serious, the code is serious. You can look at their GitHub, you can see how active they are. If you buy some, project that's highly illiquid, please check like resources like Crypto Miso and see if they're even committing to the code. If you're buying an asset where they have not updated the code or any types of new commits in over a year, it's probably a dead project. Now, API 3 is one of the most active GitHubs, and you can see its circulating supply increased as well. But I still believe they're going to be serious projects in the future. And apologies in this video if I did mix up millions or billions in this one. I'm just kind of reading it off the top. So API 3 circulating supply went from 13.8 million up to 36.9. And this also increased by 2.67x, so almost a 3x multiplier effect for its circulating supply. Meaning that if the circulating supply never changed, the price today would still be sitting 3 times higher than it is now. Next up, guys, we have Anderzel X_Anderson. Why do people think a $5 trillion market capitalization or a $10 trillion market cap is somehow out of reach? Especially when a lot of serious people, such as in the International Monetary Fund or holding huge roles for central banks, are predicting a total market cap for crypto at 100 trillion or more in the future. We're talking about people with multiple PhDs. A $100 trillion crypto market cap. And we're sweating over here when we're sitting at 1% of that. Also, great perspective right here. James just talking when it was only like 250 million, even 100 billion a few years ago. We've seen it peak recently at $3 trillion as our most recent all-time high for the crypto market. If it can 12x once, why should a $10 trillion market cap be out of reach? Well said. Yeah, and even from like 100 billion to a $3 trillion top, that's a 30x. That's over a 3,000% increase. And even credible crypto right here, because people don't understand how market capitalization works, and they're comparing it to the market caps of completely unrelated assets. This is the cryptocurrency market. This is not the stock market. So I hope you guys learned something valuable in today's video that you will carry with you going forward for the rest of your crypto journey. As always, all links can be found in the YouTube video description or right on my Twitter homepage within my link tree. I'll catch you in the next one.